So when you're surfing the web, are you tired of hitting paywalls? I know I am. If there's a 10-foot wall, I could easily find an 11-foot ladder. But right now, HubSpot just pioneered something completely different that's going to change what content access looks like. And what they've created was an analytic wall. You heard that right. Not a paywall, not just giving you an email and bouncing to view the content, an analytic wall. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So I found this while I was going back to trying to find the blog they wrote, which is the blog here, where they're explaining the 80% traffic drop that they had in their blog a few months back after the algorithm change. If you know, you know, and if you don't know, definitely look it up. It's something quite interesting and something quite shocking to see. So as I'm scrolling down, I'm just getting ready to find data points that I was looking for until I get met by this thing here. Want the full article? Unlock HubSpot's exclusive research and content library, free access, but please, 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 please accept analytic cookies in order to proceed. At first, I'm like, what the hell's going on here? Like, that's a little weird. Then I tried a few things to get around it. It doesn't budge. It sticks. And at first I thought, I'm like, these guys must be going crazy. But I'm like, okay, let's be honest first. HubSpot's HubSpot's no dummy. They know exactly what they're doing. As of yet, I can't get past this. I can't see anything. So the only thing I could really do is accept the cookie policies. If I click accept all, oh, lo and behold, guess what? We got the email gate. Surprise, surprise. Now, before I fill this out, you got to think about it. This is more than just your classic low step, low click, low point friction. They're embarking in something completely different, which I'd call medium friction points, where instead of just kind of doing one click, I'm taking a few steps to finally get access to this content that I'm wanting to read. And if we're honest, the same way coaches will say my class is $10,000 to find people that are serious, it's a pretty clever move. Because if I'm going through all of this, where I got to now put my email, accept the cookies, there's a high chance I'm going to read that entire content and I'm actually going to be engaging with the content. So again, HubSpot's no dummy. It's safe to say they know what they're doing here. Let me put in a bogus email, test@test.com. That's not valid because for sure they've gotten that too many times, but test2.com works. So let's press next. Oh, and they want my name. Okay, let's go. Test. I'm sorry, HubSpot, but it is what it is. You put a wall up, you're getting vacant. Oh, and they want a phone number. Okay, so let's go with 213-333-333-90. Submit. You have unlocked HubSpot's exclusive research and content library. So while this loads, I'm going to just keep going over a few things that cross my mind. Like I'd share this with some friends and they're like, some people are like, this is kind of weird, this is kind of silly, but I actually think it's quite genius in what they're doing here. And as we already mentioned, it's a medium level friction point to get access to the content. And of all people who understand the importance of data, it is safe to say HubSpot understands how important data is. So now if I'm thinking is, if they got their analytics running, they want to know that people that are coming to their site are people that want to engage. So again, they already know the importance of data, but what I'm thinking out here now is they got videos, they got podcasts, they have stuff on other sites, on other platforms that are sending traffic back to the site, either with UTM parameters or trackable links. And I want to know that when people come in, that I can actually see where they're coming from. So we know that for people who are blocking cookies and scripts, if they're coming to your site with a UTM parameter, you got no clue. So all that work that your team's putting in for tracking data, where they're coming from, or ad running, nada, zip, zilch. You have no access to that. So this medium friction point may be an ingenious way to deter the people that don't want to get access to information and to help clean up their data, because I'm sure they're getting a ton of muddy data, and I just gave them some fake emails, so for sure that's more muddy data they got to clean out. But if they're having a whole ecosystem and a whole marketing engine, they're going to want to make sure to track as much data as they can. And one of the quick ways is for you to accept cookie policy. HubSpot is a brand that's big enough to be able to pull a stunt like this. If you're new up and coming or you don't have that much of a following, this will be something that's quite hard to pull off. The genius behind this is HubSpot, they're playing a much bigger game. So if we go back to early 2021, they've planned this out the entire way through. So back in early 2021, if you didn't know, HubSpot had acquired The Hustle. So The Hustle was a newsletter and media company. And then 6 months right off of the back of that, they then launched their podcast network. And then right after that, they launched a creator program. So if you don't know what the creator program is, it's a place where if you're a creator with some visibility and followers, you could join the HubSpot creator program and make some ka-ching, some moolah out of it on the back end. But what's a bigger play here is that what they've stated, I'm just going to read this here, is Their goal was to build a multi-channel distribution engine that wasn't solely dependent on blog traffic. Again, this is coming from the people that wrote the rule book on inbound marketing that taught pretty much everybody online running either B2B or B2C that create content on your page, make really good content, and then how to get people to how to funnel people to your site with their whole flywheel system. Back to what they said, their goal was to build a multi-channel distribution engine that wasn't solely dependent on blog traffic, ensuring long-term sustainable growth by creating content that provides unique value beyond what AI can generate. So again, they're playing the long game. So we all know about AI slop and how some of the content is just trash. So again, HubSpot was in a position where they saw where the puck was going for my athletes and my sport people. The meaning that reference. They were playing the long game and positioned themselves to be in a position where they're winning today. And they have stated, despite having an 80% drop in traffic, they're making more money than ever. So although traffic is low, revenue is sky high. And that definitely comes from the fact that they've acquired the hustle, which allowed them to spread their HubSpot tentacles via branding and messaging and aligning themselves with the right people who display the same values, who have similar messaging and attract the same type of clientele that HubSpot would want. So they were definitely playing the long game, playing 4D chess. As all this to say, their move on adding an analytics wall sounds crazy to me at first, but the more I thought about it and zoomed down on things and saw the business aspect of things, I gotta say, bravo. Well done, HubSpot. That is a clever move. And from here on out, you will be receiving test2, test3.com coming on my behalf when I want to consume your content. Now, does this mean other businesses and creators should do the same? I don't think so. Unless you got the brand reputation that HubSpot has with the loyal following, that may be a risky move. Other than that, I hope this was helpful. This was informative, and hopefully this gets you to think a bit bigger and broaden your vision and ideas of what you're doing in terms of acquiring traffic to your site. If it's good enough for HubSpot to acquire a podcast network and a newsletter list, which at the time we all thought was just to get emails, it's probably a good idea for all of us to start thinking of how can we diversify our traffic sources and how can we diversify where our brand is being mentioned. Other than that, you guys have an awesome rest of the day. Peace.